All right, we'll go back to the 32Boys1Cup semifinals. It's the second semifinals. If you guys missed the first one, spoiler alert! There you go, you got 5 seconds to meet the sound. We did, of course, have Gumiho make it to the finals over Solar. So the winner of this will fight against Gumiho. I gotta be honest, I think, statistically speaking, if PartinG can overcome Losira, I think he's gonna take on Gumiho a lot better than Losira would, but... either way, we should probably introduce these players before I get too off topic. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, it is going to be the blue Zerg player, Losira.
In the upper right, as the red Protoss, it's Yowie Flash Wolves, PartinG.
I'm really glad they finally changed Losira's stuff around, by the way. Of course, known Kongho for a long time. Ooh. Oh, did he watch like Departures games versus PartinG? Like, maybe got a sense for the early pools?
Yeah, the party really preferred the like the 14-14.
I think he did 13-14, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you know, on 2 bases, right? But this, you know, this can still go into more aggression even after this. You know, you can throw down the hatchery and you can actually throw down the gas after that, and still have speed. And it's not going to be quite as aggressive. Like, you're not going to be able to bust like you would on maybe another map, you know, later on. But you would still have like a lot of map control to work with, and that's kind of what he's getting here. 6 lings, hopefully, for PartinG. Never mind. Well, PartinG did not block off, so the lings will just get right in there.
And the thing is, this isn't even like a typical scenario where you're trying to counter like a Nexus first, which, let's be honest, its Nimbus is a little bit more tempting to go for. But even with a gateway opener like this, Zealots are not fast enough to catch the Zerglings. You're going to have to really get that Mothership core out, and...
Yeah.
Losira's got to realize he's going to scout this, but he's heading the wrong direction. He should just be heading straight up, of course. He's taking a guess 50-50, but now realizing where his opponent is, changes the direction. The Zealot sometimes doesn't even get fully finished a lot of the time. We just see it kind of go sort of built and then canceled for that Nexus, but...
Yeah, lucky, I think PartinG saw those lings just barely with that probe. So he should let this finish, which is a big deal. Like, if you don't see it and you cancel the last second and they pop into the last second, that's disgusting. Nice little like position here. Obviously, he has to move anyways because he's going after the probes, but cool idea.
That's kind of cool. The probes are going to be stacked up here. I mean, the thing is for Zerglings, they don't really have the kill potential when probes stack, but... Oh, probe does die on the other side of the field. The problem is, though, like, defending this pylon like, is kind of a big deal. You don't want to get supply blocked at this stage. You don't want to lose too many probes either. You have to kind of fight. And Losira's doing an okay job here. You know, 3 probes dead is definitely worth the Zerglings, but keep in mind, he has to kill a lot more than 3. He cut workers pretty heavily to get this out.
Yeah.
His timing is also starting to expire, too, with the Mothership core coming out in a moment's time.
He is getting a gas behind this as well, so he is going to get into that speed, and he's going to have that control, but I'm wondering if he's going to do anything with it. PartinG didn't wall off, so it's still a big possibility that there's like a lot of speedlings just to try and catch PartinG off guard. It's a big risk, though. I mean, it's already a big risk on like any other map, maybe not Foxtrot, but any other map. But especially on this one, where it is an easy like 2 pylons at the front and a Zealot stuck in there, and you're pretty good to go, and you don't need to worry about natural.
Well, the drone's coming out. He does catch up in workers, I suppose. I mean, it's really hard to validate like four probes killed only for what was coming out, but yeah, had PartinG not actually let that Zealot finish, that would have been so much worse. The Zealot, of course, is the big damage, the big guns when it comes to killing Zerglings, not the probes, but... For Losira, this, I'd say this doesn't really put him out of the game, but it does put him in an awkward spot. Because at this point, there's going to be the SimCity up, there's going to be a Zealot in a hold position, a Sentry even for a Force Field. You probably not even going to be able to chip down the debris field, so... For PartinG's sake, like, he's got 4 gates off 2 bases, whether he uses this offensively or defensively, Losira's not going to be able to do too much about it. Because what's he going to have? He's going to have just speedlings for, like, possible gateway all-in?
Exactly. I think PartinG is recognizing this, right? So he doesn't know that Losira didn't go for, like, maybe a fast third, you know, straight up to Roach or something like that, but... You know, even if in that situation, it wouldn't be a lot of roaches, most likely, and, you know, Stalkers will be good against that as well. As it is with Ling and Speedlings, a lot of Zealots are going to be the way to go. Stalkers worked out last game because they were slow Lings, but if you can just, like, set up a pylon and warp in twice, that's 8 Zealots, and Ling just don't hold up to that very well.
Well, I guess she'll be starting here. What's What's gonna be quite interesting is like, let's say this goes really bad for partying. Like, let's say this just. Let's just. I'm surprised he actually didn't just wall that off. Like, no, wall that off. I guess hold position on that ramp. But either way, with the Mothership Core damage, a couple stalkers kiting around, he deals with these relatively easily. Like I said, guys, it's just speedlings, and even with 20 more coming out, like that was dispatched so easily. It's.
Oh god, I like Losira's. You know, besides larva being a key factor here, as lings are pretty larva intensive, just having extra queens is going to be very helpful. They're long range, you can kite with them, and it's kind of obvious that partying's going to be going for a lot of zealots. They're the most effective thing he can have against the lings. Sentry is actually warped in here. That might just be the thing he needs. Like if he gets inside the mineral line, that can be very, very helpful. Otherwise, I mean, I don't really know what else he's going to do.
But he has to spend his money, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like. Last thing you want to do is get caught dead with like 1,000 minerals on the bank. So whether it's because he wants to or not, getting all these queens is a pretty good idea.
Yeah. PartinG is just waiting here. I'm wondering if he's using that force field for possible like retreat. Okay, well, never mind. Yeah.
Awkwardest contain. Like, do you think you're playing against or something?
It really is. Like, cause you also don't need all these zealots up here for a contain. The force field usually does the job too. It loses one really unnecessarily. But it's, you know, he is planning on attacking beyond this. Yeah, it was nice.
That was really nice. Now, we'll do some lings do get out. I mean, parting. Wait, can the Immortal actually get past that?
No.
That looks like an awkward. Like, I know an Archon for sure can't walk through that. But I'm wondering if an Immortal's fat enough.
I'm pretty sure it is too fat.
Yeah, it is gonna. Well, I don't know. Could just be trying to hide it with him. I don't know. Anyways, the units do come home, so let's record that recall. Brings everyone safe and sound. A couple pylons going to be lost for this, and I mean, it did delay a third for a long time. Okay,
I guess the Immortal is actually the same size as Stalker, but it just doesn't look like it.
No, it's got these big. It's got Rifkinly broad shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a perfect way to put it. If you guys have not sat next to Rifkin, you don't know. He's tall and he has really big shoulders.
Not saying this Immortal's fat or nothing. He's just a bigger guy, okay? Alright?
Won't.
But okay, this follow-up push is not exactly the, you know, the parting Sentry, everyone on board the train, we know this from Wings of Liberty, Choo Choo, etc., but it's still a really powerful force. The Sentry can't retain from that first attack. It's mostly Zerglings to deal with this, and Immortals, okay, if they get surrounded, it's so good against Lings, but they're probably not going to get surrounded thanks to force fields. Should be able to dispatch with this pretty easily. God, that's a lot of Zerglings.
It is. I feel like they're so useless. It's like, wow, that's impressive until they go up against like 7 zealots.
Okay, he did fully wall off at home too. No cannon behind this, but I mean, it's one zealot. It's all that's gonna be necessary. Go up and down over and over. Oh, but if he takes down the rocks though, PartinG's gotta recognize this. There's a hole down here he's gotta fill. Oh, he's gonna get a couple sentries up. Meanwhile, he puts on the attack. Tons of spine cores on the top of the ramp. 5 queens for transfuses, but Immortals are gonna take these down like nobody's business. And the spines fall. This is getting messy. There's some roaches coming out here too, but the thing is, there's so many zealots, right?
He did. I think he focus fired one of the Immortals with the spine crawlers. That is so helpful. This really isn't. It's really not a lot of. It's mostly zealots. Okay, there's all those sentries to keep the roaches off the back of an Immortal, and there's a Warp Prism to micro the Immortal with. So technically, that could be taken down. And with that, I think Losira can actually hold.
Lings on top. He's got enough energy for a recall or at least a time warp. 3 health on this Mothership Core is not going to make it easy no matter what it is.
You're barely gonna hold, yeah.
Oh my god. He still did lose that third, and he did lose 11 drones through this, though. So it's not a perfect hold, but he does hold.
Did he lose a third? I thought he just never built one.
Oh, you know, you might be right. I thought he did. I just saw the pylon. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So 11 drones dead, though, is kind of the key point of this. I mean, is it enough? I mean, your opponent's still on 2 bases. There's Zerg. This is kind of what we see of the effect through cannons most of the time, like having that only 2 bases for Zerg players. I mean, it's roaches coming up against what is already Immortal production out of PartinG.
Yeah, that was amazing that he held that off, but it's still not that great for him. It's 2 base versus 2 base, and a Zerg never wants to be on that, you know, that situation. And Immortals and Zealots are far better than Roaches and Lings, unless you have a lot of them. And Losira just, like, you just can't get a lot of them without a 3rd base.
Well, the Hydralisk then coming down certainly going to help a lot. Roaches right now, I mean, the thing is, Roaches didn't have speed, which is why Zealots were able to connect to them. Roaches with speed, especially on creep, Zealots will never touch those. So, Yeah, that's why the kiting didn't quite go so smoothly at home. Now this time around, he should be able to deal with this a lot easier. If he gets those Hydralisks out, they shred most gateway units. They'll certainly deal with Immortals pretty effectively. For PartinG's sake, I guess the question is, you know, are Colossus in the future for him? Is a third base in the future for him? Is he going to continue with this all-in? I'd say fighting his opponent on 2 bases, continuing with the all-in does seem to be the better of choices, but at the same time, Losira did just pull off a really sick, somewhat impossible hold.
Yeah. Well, it's always so, you know, a benefit we usually don't have for the Zerg player is that he's defending on the high ground in a concave. Usually you have to defend your third. But since he's never gotten one, he's always going to have that going for him. But half his army is on the other side of the map. Only Hydras popping out are going to they're going to die super quickly.
You know, the problem with this Roach attack is, like, this does take away 3 of PartinG's gateways. This is a majority of what he's using to warp in with. Or not majority, but so there's 4 in the bag. Either way, it's about half of his warp-in force. If it's going to be a kill move, it's got to be now. PartinG doesn't really have a whole ton of defense to hold that production. Lots of
the drones are going to really help out here. The Hydras aren't dying as fast as I thought they would. A complete surround with anything that Losira has, and he is still dealing damage on the other side of the map.
Yeah, the Warp Prism being used to carry the Immortals away is actually not too bad of a choice, but...
The Hydras even live.
Yeah, but like the Warp Prism was there, like, where were the Warp-ins, right? Like, he wasn't spending too much at home. He warped in a couple units with that Immortal to hold.
Are you serious? You're going to win this game.
I think he is, too. The Immortals, as you can see, they hit hard, but not quite hard enough, not against the Hydras.
Yeah, there's way too many Hydras now for the small army that PartinG has.
Yeah, nice pickup, nice scoop. PartinG, on the other hand, losing at home as well. Not enough energy for another overcharge. Mothership Core, by the way, Shadow with 3 health still alive, but not exactly dealing with these roaches anytime soon. You know, losing that wall, losing those gateways. PartinG's lost a lot of probes, too. This is looking to be a 2-0. This is GG.
Wow. Oh.